The flood washed away our Mercedes, and we couldn't get it out. Climate change is increasing day by day. The number of casualties and injured people is rising. Many areas are becoming uninhabitable. Millions of people are already refugees. Because of extreme climatic conditions, and it is clear that the topic of climate must become top of the agenda in our society. Why? Watch the forum Global Crisis. We are people. We want to live.
We are preparing for seasonal cataclysms based on past experience, but now, climate change makes the onset of the natural force so unpredictable that in the consumerist format of society, we become helpless before their consequences. Last summer, the whole world was shocked by the terrible footage of a catastrophic flood in China, when people were trapped in a death trap right in the subway cars. Even though the country's rainy season has not yet reached its peak this year, in many regions the amount of rainfall due to climate change is already well above the norm. So, from May 1st to June 4th, 2022, in most of the Fujian province, the average total precipitation exceeded the norm for the same period by 33%. On June 6th, in Guangzhou, Jiangxi province, almost 1.5 times more than a month's amount of rain fell within 24 hours. As of June 9th, since the end of May, more than 2 million people have been affected by floods and landslides in Jiangxi and Hunan provinces after several days of heavy rains. Casualties have been reported. On June 10th, several natural disasters occurred in different regions of the country at once. In the provinces of Guangxi, a large-scale landslide descended, which claimed the lives of people. And in the southwest of the country, in the province of Sichuan, 3 swarm-type earthquakes of high magnitude occurred at a shallow depth. The tremors were accompanied by aftershocks. Landslide hit roads after the earthquake because of continuous rains. This made it impossible for cars to move, and rescuers had to walk to the affected areas.
Recently, news headlines have been full of stories about large or heavy hail falling on different parts of the world at short intervals. Turkey, June 13, 2022. After a heavy downpour, powerful hail fell in Turkey's Yozgat province of central Anatolia. In some places, the hail cover reached a height of almost 1 meter within just 30 minutes. Houses were flooded and crops were damaged. One of the residents of the village where the disaster had struck said he had never seen such hail before. Azerbaijan, June 10th. Heavy rains and hail have caused a natural disaster in the Dashkisan region. Some mountain rivers have been flooded. A number of communication lines and private homes were damaged and flooded. Mudflows carried away cars and destroyed bridges.
The flood washed away our Mercedes, and we couldn't get it out.
The flood engulfed both sides of our house, collapsed on a neighbor's house, and overturned one side of his house. The flood overwhelmed our barn and house.
On the same day, heavy rains caused widespread flooding in many towns in Bosnia and Herzegovina. In the city of Čelić, due to excessive rainfall, a river overflowed its banks. About 200 homes and businesses were flooded. There have been flooding and hail on the other side of the world as well. USA, June 11th. Tornadoes and large hailstorms passed through southeastern Nebraska. Baseball-sized hailstorms damaged many cars. Strong winds destroyed several homes, felled trees and power poles. Mexico, June 12th. Mexico City was hit by heavy rains, sleet and hail. Under the weight of the precipitation, the roof of one of the supermarkets collapsed. There are reports of casualties.
We invite eyewitnesses of climate disasters as well as anyone who has specific knowledge of such events to be interviewed. Please contact us, share your story. For the whole world to know the truth, participation of every person is important.
My name is Agnes Pagana-Talir from Philippines. On December 16, we have a huge typhoon. It's named Odette. So that time at 7 o'clock afternoon, the wind is already starting. It's getting stronger and stronger. The rain it's getting very, very strong, and we get so scared. The people in barangay is telling us to evacuate to the school because if we're gonna stay in the house, it might be dangerous. So we go to school to save us, and also my mother, all my family, we evacuated in the school. It's so scary. This is the first time that I experienced this is the hard typhoon ever I experienced. We keep crying, we pray, crying and pray, and also when I'm looking to my mother, I feel sorry, and I look my children, I felt sorry, and all the parents and all my family are getting scared, and they're like, oh my God, what we can hurt even all the trees, the coconut, all the trees and the bananas and all like cracking and breaking, and like it's too like we keep like listening, and even we see in the window, it's like we cannot imagine. So that day and that time also one tree, the big tree, is falling down in that evacuation center. So we cry because like we scared already because one of the branches it fell down to the roof, and then the roof is cut, so all the water is coming from the roof, it's falling down. So we got scared because like if we go this side, we will get wet, and then if we go this here, we keep this side, we still wet because the water is keep falling down from us. So one of my cousins said, okay, well, I will try to open the window. We try to transfer another room. So another also people said, no, we cannot walk because if we will walk, all the things will flying, and it is danger for us. It will cut our head or cut our body or something because it's all flying, and the typhoon, it's not only typhoon, it's like getting around like tornado or something. Like the rain also is very, very strong and very, very hard. Like we cannot explain at all. We can hear heaven. We can see heaven like everything is collapsed, and everything, all the electricity, the power is in electricity is switched, everything closed, and it's very, very dark. We cannot contact also everything. So at 12 o'clock, like 12 or 12:30, the rain is little bit less, and the typhoon is getting less also. So we feel relaxed. So we try to move each other. We try to move to check if everybody, all the family is safe. So we keep crying because we don't know what to do. It's too much. We put in the basket or we put in the sack. We put it all the things is inside, and then we try to move. My God, we cannot move easily because all the trees is falling down in the road, and all the hollow blocks, all the materials for the houses is collapsed and all like this. So we're trying to walk slowly, but we cannot make it faster even because flood. When I see my house, thanks God, I feel so happy because my house is okay. There's nothing happened, only water coming inside. But when I go to my mother's house, I'm shocked. When I go to my mother's house, half of the house of my mother is falling down. Anyway, my mother's house is not strong in only wood, but even though it's collapsed like nothing. So that day we're trying to check our neighbors and all the road from next to our house. We cannot imagine how, but also the barangay or in the municipality, they're giving us food. But even they're giving us food, of course, it's not enough because we are big family. We cannot go fishing. We cannot go to the mountain to take the rice because everything is falling down. Only the rich people have electricity, and we are trying to charge our flashlight. We need to pay also, but we don't have enough money. But we are trying to squeeze ourselves that we can have little bit money to charge our mobile, to charge our flashlight, to give us light in that night.
Floods in Guatemala and El Salvador, Canada, Indonesia, India, Ghana, Oman, tornadoes in the Czech Republic, hailstorms in Greece and Romania, large-scale fires in Spain, Israel, and Arizona, USA. With each passing day, natural disasters come with greater force, changing people's lives.
The climate crisis is gaining momentum. What can we do about it?
At this time, the time of crises, it's more difficult to develop anything, whatever it may be. Yet, a crisis is actually a wonderful time to change something. Why? Because now people see and understand everything we spoke about in the times when there were no crises, when everything was fine and calm. Well, relatively calm, but still calm, right? People did not listen to us then. But when they themselves see it now, I'm not talking about the crises in the economy, about geopolitics and wars. We skip that now. And we skip the human factor. But we are now talking about climate. Only a fool doesn't see the changes that are really happening to the climate. Any average person who can at least calculate simple things, such as 2 plus 2 and the like, can add everything up and see the progression with which it is increasing. By it, I mean disastrous climate changes that are already happening indeed. and they are gaining momentum at such an impetuous speed that one can calculate how much time remains for us as humanity to exist in more or less normal conditions. Not so much time. And exactly the creative society can change that. It's the most acceptable for everyone, right?
Right.
I mean, it's the only acceptable form. There is no other way to call it, which would suit nearly all people.
Right now, awareness of the creative society is the foundation for building our safe and secure future.